Hello, and it's great to see you all again. Time travel to the past is one of humanity's greatest desires, perhaps second only to immortality. It is clearly reflected in music and films as well. But despite all these longings, time travel to the past remains in the realm of imagination, or at least, that's what the government is trying to hide. In December 1990, in a remote village above the Arctic Circle, 2 Russian scientists embarked on a bold experiment. Their goal was to enhance superconsciousness, also known as human telepathic abilities. They built a device capable of shielding people from electromagnetic disturbances and amplifying their bioenergy. This device was a large aluminum spiral tube with a chair placed in the center. As soon as the device was created, strange phenomena began to occur around the village. Disc-shaped beams of light hovered around the laboratory. Energy orbs appeared and disappeared. The aurora became so vivid and vibrant that they seemed to take on a physical form.
Red glimmering circle above the building. It was there for a minute and then gone.
At 5:10, I saw a UFO flying from the north. The object had the form of an ellipse radiating red-white light. There were beams of light coming off the object as if it was searching for something. The UFO remained in sight for about 4 minutes, then the light went off and it was gone.
Suddenly I felt a kind of hypnosis. The feeling didn't last long. I saw a white glimmering object which looked like Saturn against the dark sky.
Inside the laboratory, anyone who approached the device felt an inexplicable sense of fear. It took a long time to convince someone to participate in the experiment. And when the subject finally agreed to sit in the chair, a burst of energy erupted, stunning everyone in the lab. The device had worked, only it worked too well. Instead of merely enhancing telepathic abilities, it allowed the person in the chair to observe any location on Earth and then any moment in the past. This is exactly what was said in a documentary on Russian state television and in articles from Russia and Ukraine. Did Russian scientists invent a time machine? And why was it either forgotten or covered up? If you share the same curiosity as I do, then make yourself a cup of coffee, hit the like button, and enjoy this video. The device that F5M referred to as a time machine in the mysterious experiment above is called the Kozyrev mirror. It's called the Kozyrev mirror, not the Einstein or Newton mirror, because it is associated with a Soviet astrophysicist named Nikolai Alexandrovich Kozyrev. Kozyrev was born in 1908 in St. Petersburg, graduated from university at the age of 20, and was regarded as one of the most promising astrophysicists in the Soviet Union at the time. Unfortunately, in 1936, he became involved in politics and was sentenced to 25 years in prison for anti-revolutionary activities and hostile propaganda. Though he was released early in 1946, being imprisoned during the prime of his youth, isolated from all news sources and scientific publications of the time, ruined his scientific career. Falling behind, Kozyrev nonetheless did not abandon scientific research. In 1958, he observed traces of volcanic activity on the moon, an observation that was initially dismissed but later confirmed when Apollo astronauts brought moon rocks back to Earth. In the 1950s, Kozyrev also developed a controversial theory called Kozyrev causal mechanics. Kozyrev believed that time was a physical force that could interact with the material world. He imagined time as a fluid substance that flows through people and all things, permeating all of space and capable of being shaped or manipulated by me, you, and everything in the universe. Kozyrev believed that this substance of time contained memories of past events, and if humans could influence the flow of this time substance, we could change the past and the future. This theory arose as Kozyrev tried to explain how the sun emits energy. He reasoned that massive objects like the sun have a denser time substance, which interacts more strongly with the flow of time and thus emits vast amounts of energy. If these ideas appeared in a science fiction novel, it would make for a great novel. The problem is that in the 1950s, Western scientists had already gained deep insights into fission reactions, also known as nuclear fusion. They all agreed that this was the source of the sun's energy and, more broadly, of the stars throughout the universe. Humans even recreated a self-sustaining chain reaction of nuclear fusion in November 1952 with the U.S. testing of the Ivy Mike thermonuclear bomb, which had a yield of 10.4 megatons. Meanwhile, time, according to Einstein's general theory of relativity, is a dimension of the universe intertwined with the three spatial dimensions, forming the four-dimensional structure of space-time. This structure is distorted and warped by the presence of mass and energy. The greater the mass and energy, the greater the distortion. When the time dimension is distorted, it stretches out, which is why a father traveling near a supermassive black hole might return younger than his daughter.
You told him I like farming.
Kozyrev's time theory, however, offers a simpler explanation. He believed that time is like the heartbeat of the universe, participating in the universe's existence by creating a type of energy called time energy, which can interact with matter and space. Kozyrev's time has a structure with dense nodes, sparse regions, fast and slow currents, and even the ability to reverse like a rewinding tape. In Kozyrev's imagination, time is like the engine of the universe. Time energy spins galaxies, pushes planets around the sun, and heats stars so that they shine. If you truly believe in it, even the formation of a storm, the growth of trees, and the division of cells in your body are all thanks to time energy. Although it sounds quite appealing, Kozyrev's theory was rejected and fell into obscurity until the late 20th century, when two scientists, Nikolai Kozyrev and Alexander Trofimov, sought to turn Kozyrev's theories into tangible experiences. They created a strange device made from a long aluminum sheet coiled into a cylindrical Fibonacci spiral. Aluminum was chosen because it seemed to react most strongly with time energy. The reflective property of aluminum, combined with the spiral shape, was believed to concentrate time radiation on anyone or anything placed in the center of the mirror. The converged time energy was amplified, allowing it to affect the space inside and around the mirror, creating an environment where the flow of time could be manipulated in some way. Fast forward to the future, or reverse to return to the past. Simply put, anyone inside the mirror could see the past and future, provided they knew how to control the time energy. In Kozyrev's imagination, time was like a river. We are floating along that river, but if we want, we can use paddles to accelerate forward, meaning toward the future, or paddle upstream, meaning back to the past. A space dense with time energy also affects the human brain and consciousness. Subjects participating in the experiments all reported a sense of fear when near or inside the device. Anyone approaching it felt an inexplicable wild fear, a sort of pressure that felt almost tangible and was hard to explain.
December 24th, 1990, Ape 1. Having entered the room, we felt a kind of emotional pressure, but we kept talking as though we didn't care about it. We just couldn't keep standing around the mirrors. The fear was so strong, more like a wild terror that couldn't be explained. It seemed like a real thing we could touch. None of us had ever had such a feeling before.
In some experiments involving the Kozyrev mirror, subjects reported that their intuition seemed heightened to the point of telepathy while inside the device. In Kozyrev and Trofimov's book, Cosmic Consciousness of Humanity, there were even reports of subjects increasing their IQ scores and being cured of illnesses after sitting in the Kozyrev mirror. But sadly, the Kozyrev mirror ended up just like the life of the late Soviet scientist, full of promise but leading nowhere. First, it was built on a theory that had already been rejected. 10 years in prison and isolation from the scientific community had left Kozyrev out of touch. The time substance he believed flowed through all of us is something modern science has never found, and of course, does not recognize. The mysterious phenomena reported in the Kozyrev mirror were also not replicated in every experiment, as a proper scientific experiment should be. Today, Kozyrev's time theory is no longer recognized, and the Kozyrev mirror is a controversial device. Is it merely an outdated idea from a once promising scientist who was cut off from the world for a decade? Or perhaps, in a few centuries, his idea will be resurrected and validated, just like his lunar observations, and we will all have to write him an apology letter. What are your thoughts? Feel free to share them in the comments below. As always, remember to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell to stay updated with F5M's latest videos. For now, goodbye and see you again soon.